What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV and we are back. I hope everyone had a lovely, lovely Christmas. Last game of 2025 tomorrow away at Crystal Palace. And as it stands, Manchester City have just taken the lead against Nottingham Forest as well in the 12:30 kickoff with about 3.5 minutes left to play. How are we doing, Sim?
Feeling a lot better now. Turkey has scored.
Hope Pep Guardiola doesn't put you on the scale after how much you've eaten over Christmas.
Definitely not. I'll be God, he'll be absolutely mad at me, I think, if Guardiola saw my fat percentage. I think need to avoid that. But yeah, look. Nice festive period, nice Christmas period. Now it's back to Tottenham, back to reality. Back to Tottenham to ruin our weekend.
It was strange, wasn't it, Boxing Day? Because it was just like there was no football. Like it was just a bit rubbish, wasn't it, Boxing Day?
Game's gone, man. I love
what is going on,
Boxing
man?
Day. That's what I look forward to. So that was a shame, but it was nice. Nice to have the turkey, the gravy, all the trimmings. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I didn't get turkey, but I got lamb, chicken, goose, got it all, mate. So
everything but the turkey.
Everything but the turkey, but it was a lovely, lovely Christmas. And I hope you all had a lovely Christmas as well. But we got a lot to talk about today on the Tottenham Update. And let's get straight into it. And we're going to start off talking about our captain, Cuti Romero, as he has been charged by the FA. Regulation and a discipline update here from the FA says that Tottenham Hotspur's Christian Romero has been charged following their Premier League match against Liverpool on Saturday, 20th of December. It's alleged that he acted in an improper manner by failing to promptly leave the field of play and or behaving in a confrontational and or aggressive manner towards the match referee after being sent off in the 93rd minute. Christian Romero has until Friday, the 2nd of January 2026 to respond. So if obviously he ends up getting charged, well, he has been charged, but if, you know, his appeal or whatever is not successful, what's going to be his punishment?
They're saying definitely a fine and potentially an additional game ban. The precedent set is Cunha was charged with a similar offence and was given an additional game ban. Romero, when he was sent off, apparently he touched the referee. Apparently, when he was walking off, so that's obviously going to count against him. And apparently, as well, he was walking down the tunnel, and he somehow found his way back out the tunnel to shout the odds at the officials after that. So that will probably count against him. Whether it's enough for an additional game ban or just a fine, I don't really know. I can't remember exactly what Cunha did to when he got sent off, so I don't know if it's going to be that bad. But it's just a headache we don't need, isn't it? He got this, by the way, at 4 p.m. on Christmas Eve, so an early Christmas present for Cuti Romero from the FA. Lovely from them. But yeah, just exactly what we don't need. With Xavi already missing 3 games, he's already missing a big game tomorrow against Palace, and he's obviously a big miss, our captain. But at the end of the day, he's got to get the better of his emotions.
Look, at the end, you reap what you sow. Romero, it was horrific. At that time in the game as well, Spurs looking like they can get something out of it. Look, at the first booking of why on his way to sending off, I can kind of understand it because he did get pushed in the back and he was very frustrated. The second one was just so stupid, man. And then to lose your head after that as well, after you've lost your head. And look, he was a ticking time bomber ever since he gave the ball away for that first goal.
Yeah, but I guess that's the frustration, isn't it? The fact that he got booked because he was rightly complaining about a push, which wasn't given. So that's obviously from his point of view and the massive frustration that booking leads to a sending off. But ultimately, that happens in the game and you have to obviously deal with it. You know, you get wrong decisions. You can't just be, just because the decision is wrong doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want. And unfortunately, it's cost him, it's cost us. Let's just hope it's not an additional game, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
So if it is an additional game, it'll be the Brentford away game. That's what it's going to be. So 2 difficult away games, Palace and Brentford, he's going to miss. Do you think there's any chance of Dragusin starting any of those games?
I would say unlikely until he's had some game time. But who knows? I was thinking this weekend, we'll get into the predicted lineup. I was thinking I would have maybe, if Romero was available, go with a back 3, but if he's not available, I think you just stick with what we have.
Yeah. All right, when talking of Radu Dragusin, we've got an update regarding his future. And Marco Di Natale says that Juventus, Napoli and AC Milan have inquired over the possibility of signing Radu Dragusin. Spurs value him at €30 million and could be open with a loan with an option to buy. And surprise, surprise, Dragusin back in his first match day squad since ACL last week. And his agent, Florian Manea, is piping up once again.
This guy.
And he says there's some speculation and we're analysing it. The club doesn't want to sell him right now. However, if the number of games he plays isn't what we want, then we'll take that into consideration. I'll talk to him and we'll evaluate together. I know Inter will be looking for a central defender in the summer. If we decide that Radu needs to play more until then, we'll let them know. And maybe Shivu will call me too. He still has 4.5 years left in his contract at Tottenham, but the injury has kept him out for 11 months. I can't allow him to spend another 7 without consistency. We need to find a solution to get him playing. He's 100% determined. Now let's focus on January and we'll see. Pipe down, Florian. Like, you don't stop, man. He literally doesn't stop.
After literally a week of Dragusin's sign, he's already calling him out to other teams in Italy. He's clearly desperate for his client to go back to Italy.
It feels like he's been desperate since like 6 months in.
I know, it's crazy. But it's an odd one with Radu, because what do we do with him this January? Is it because I think the agent is right in a case of he's missed, how long now? Basically a year of his career, and he doesn't want to waste not waste anymore, but he doesn't want to spend the next 7 months, or 6 months sitting on the bench. He needs to get some game time. Now it's going to be very difficult with him at Tottenham with Romero, Van de Ven and Danso already there. Albeit we do need rotation, so he will get game time. Will he be regular game time, consistent minutes? Probably not.
It's up to him to fight his way into the team.
Agreed,
you know what I mean?
But is it also, we're going to be easing him back. It's not going to be we're just going to drop him in and get him playing regular games. Even if we did have a space for him, let's say Romero had a 6-month injury, you still will probably want to ease Dragusin back into that. It's tough for a player like him to start playing regularly full 90 minutes. It's not an easy thing after that big injury. But I would assume come like February, March time, he'd be ready to play consistent minutes and whatever. But if there is an offer on loan and for him this January, do we consider it? And if it's a team that's going to play him consistent minutes, is that something we do consider? Or do we just keep him around because we need the depth, which is true, and I'm pretty much inclined to go with that. But obviously Radu's going to be desperate to get back on the pitch, and when he sees 3 centre-backs in his way, is he going to start getting frustrated with the fact he's come back for this injury, now he can't play? So I understand the predicament we are in, and that's what happens when you have a player who gets a big injury. It's not just the injury, obviously it's that and the recovery, and then when it comes back, the dynamics. So I don't know what the best course of action is. But obviously I want to give him a fair chance at Tottenham. I want to see what he can do under Frank. But yeah, I don't know what the best course of action is if there is an offer on the table for a loan deal.
I just don't think we can afford to let him go just because of manpower. We don't have enough centre-backs. The only option is that I can see is you recall Luka Vuskovic, but there has been a report today saying that we're not considering it. So if we're not considering Vuskovic to recall him, then we have to keep Dragusin.
Takai? Does he exist?
Exactly. Does he even exist? Like, is he a real person?
Is he a thing? Is he a defender? Is he a player for Tottenham? Do we pay his wages?
Is he actually a real person? I'm starting to question it right now.
I think he's the first AI signing.
Yeah, very well could be.
I think he's just AI.
Very well could be. So look, we need bodies. That's the reality. And Dragusin, if we can get him playing to to full fitness, if we can get him back to full fitness anytime soon, then he'll be an asset for us.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. So if he's ready to play, then that's it, then he's ready to get back on the pitch. But if there is an offer on the table, even if it's just, playing for 6 months and come back in the summer, I mean, I would consider it, but it would also mean, what do we do? So it's a difficult situation, I think, because Radu's going to want to play, of course. So it's an awkward one, I feel, right now, because he's our 4th choice centre-back who's just off the back of a long-term injury. So obviously, Frank will have to deal with it. Whatever decision he makes, it's understandable, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Next up, we're going to talk about Brennan Johnson, as Matt Woodsey from The Athletic says that Crystal Palace have made Tottenham and Brennan Johnson their main target in the January transfer window. However, it will require a significant fee to get the player. Not sure what a significant fee means, but they say it's, yeah. Team talk saying that Palace face competition from Aston Villa in the race to sign Brennan Johnson. The winger has slipped down the pecking order at Tottenham, opening the door to a potential January exit. Spurred are said to open a sale with Johnson valued at 40 million, a fee that could tempt Aston Villa as Unai Emery looks to add depth in a title-chasing squad.
And they're signing Brennan Johnson to win the title.
Oh, big game player, Brennan Johnson.
He is, absolutely. And to be fair, I think Emery would love a player like him. He's very similar to like Marlon, I feel. Just like they use that pace.
I think he's better than Marlon as well.
He might well be. And I think he's a very similar kind of profile to him. Just uses his face. He's like a straight line runner, but very good at running in behind. Obviously a good finisher. Can play off the right as well. We know that. So I think Unai Emery might be looking at that situation and think, could we get a lot out of him? Obviously, he's not kind of the level, in my opinion, of like Rashford. I think Rashford's obviously a lot more quality than Brennan, but Brennan has his strengths. I think Emery could use them. Obviously, I think he's kind of perfect for Palace. I think Palace could really use a player like Brennan. So it's a weird one where we're potentially selling. We're obviously going to be selling him to a player above us in a team above us in the league, whoever we sell him to at the moment, probably, and they're looking to get more use to them out of him than we are. He doesn't play for us, even though we know he's a goal scorer. But I also acknowledge, is he definitely a player who's upgradable? Yes. But I was thinking about it a bit more. Does it actually make sense, though, to sell him? Because
Depends who we bring in.
Yeah, but that means we need a right winger and a left winger, potentially, or a player who can play right and left.
Yeah.
Are we leaving us too much to do? Like, at the moment, we've got Kudus and Brennan, who should be, anyway, rotating off the right. That's all right, that's fine. And then off the left is the big problem. But now we're looking to sell our backup right winger.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make sense to probably put one of Tell or Odebear, most likely Tell, on loan or something? Even though I like them, and I don't really want to, but I think if we're going to sell a winger in January, isn't that the best course of action?
Yeah, but there also could be a case that's saying that Brennan Johnson's not happy with the amount of minutes that he's getting, and he feels undervalued of what he's given to the club over the last couple of years, plenty of goal contributions, and now he's barely getting a look in. So it could be just the case right now of Brennan Johnson pushing for a move as opposed to us wanting to sell him more.
That's fair. And I don't think it's the worst decision to sell him. I'm just thinking from a squad planning point of view. Isn't it odd?
It is odd, but like I said, what do you do if the player wants to move?
Give him more minutes.
And then where are you going to give him these minutes? Because we're saying that Kudus is a lot better than him. And every time Brennan Johnson starts over Kudus, everyone's saying, oh, God, not this again.
I actually think in some cases we look better with Brennan without Kudus, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's better than Kudus in any way. Of course, Kudus is a much more high-quality player. I'm just saying when you look at the team dynamic, there's been a few games where we actually look better with Brennan on the right. Not that he's been a world beater or anything. So I don't think it's the case that we shouldn't be playing him as much as we are. We should be probably playing him more.
I don't have a problem keeping Brennan Johnson around. I really don't. I think I've said it all along. I think he's a really good squad player to have, and he does something that not many players in the squad do, and that's put the ball in the back of the net. So I'm more than happy to keep Brennan Johnson around. But if that hampers us bringing personnel in, then that's a problem.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense in the summer than to do it now, in my opinion, where we are. But as I've said, in terms of just a pure selling Brennan Johnson just as a player, I'm open to it because I do think he's quite a limited player, and I don't think he's going to get, to be honest, I don't think he's going to get much better than he already is. I think right now he's a player who we know can score goals, and he's a good finisher, and he offers what he offers, which is not a bad thing.
Still 24 though.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, I don't think there's a much higher ceiling for him. He might improve as a player, don't get me wrong. Of course, he's 24, but I think what we're seeing now is very similar to what he's going to be. Just this kind of goal-scoring kind of forward who offers a good level, but I don't know if he's got a much higher ceiling, in my opinion. But in terms of the squad planning right now, selling a right winger when we have him in Kudus, when the big problem is a left winger. So if we sell him, what are we going to sign? Another right winger? We're going to sign a left winger? It's a bit of a peculiar one.
You know what, though? We talk about, you say that, he's not going to get much better in terms of maybe add more strings to his bow. But he's also a good profile just to have around the squad, just to someone that can come in and he's going to get you guaranteed goals every season. So, look, I'm more than happy to keep him. However, if we are going to sell him and bring in someone a lot better, then I'm all for it as well. So it all depends on who the player coming in is. That's the reality.
The winger market, though, we'll talk about it in a minute. But obviously, Semenyo's off the table. I mean, who are we going to get? That's the big issue.
Well, let's talk about who we're going to get. But before we talk about who we're going to get, the Sun are reporting that Tottenham have made 150 million transfer war chest available to Tottenham in the winter window.
War chest FC.
How many times have I heard war chest and Tottenham in the same sentence before over the last couple of years?
Levy's gone. This is all real.
Yeah.
It's all real now.
You know what? We might have a £150 million war chest, but we need to convince players to come. That's the biggest problem right now.
Problem, yeah. And I agree. At the moment, we're not a very attractive proposition, albeit we are still in the Champions League, so we still have that carrot to kind of dangle for our players. But first of all, for how much longer? And
you get to play 2 games in the Champions League.
Well, I would say at least 4. I'd like to think at least 4. You get 4 Champions League games under your belt. But yeah, I mean, trying to even look at if you look at where we are, convincing a team we're either heading in the right direction or we're going to be in Europe next season. I mean, at the moment, that's looking like an outside chance. I mean, how things are going at the moment, if that's going to be a possibility. I'm not saying we've got no chance, but I'm saying it's looking less and less likely as the weeks go by that we're actually going to be in Europe at all. But that's the problem. 100, we've already got a polite decline, rejection from Semenyo. That's already happened.
As long as it was polite.
As long as it's polite, I don't mind it. As long as you don't spit in our faces.
Like Eze.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously we want Savino, which we'll talk about, but he's probably off the table. I don't know what direction that we go with that fans are going to be happy with, unless we go with another player who's maybe unproven, and hope that they turn into something.
Here we go again with the unprovens.
And that's it. But we kind of have to in a way. We might have to.
Yes. You look at Man United, they've got no European football this season, and they were able to convince Mbeumo and Cunha and players like that to come.
They're Man United.
We're in the Champions League and we can't convince anyone to come.
We don't have the prestige of them, unfortunately.
Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it? But we were just about to put ourselves on that map, and then it's just gone from bad to worse every season. It's just so frustrating, man.
Look, don't get me wrong, we have stuff to offer, but when it comes to us going for players in the same pool as the top teams, then unfortunately we don't have as much to offer right now as those. But if we're competing with anyone below the top 6, I think we can put our hat in the ring convincingly. But right now we want the players of the top 6 one, don't we? And we're just not getting them.
Yeah. Happy days. Anyway, let's move on to some specific targets that Spurs are looking to bring in January. And first up is Savinho. Just came on for Man City. Looked pretty decent, actually, in his little cameo just now. Mike McGrath says that Antoine Semenyo to Man City could require one player leaving Manchester City in this January transfer window. Edu Burgos says that Semenyo's arrival at Manchester City will open the door to a potential departure for Savinho. However, David Ornstein says that I'm assured the likes of Marmoush and Savinho are staying, as Man City have no desire to see them leave. They want to use all their available resources to challenge and win trophies this season. And also, Fabrizio Romano said over the Christmas break that Oscar Bob could be the one to leave Manchester City. Now, he's not even getting in a lot of matchday squads right now, so that kind of makes sense that Savinho and Marmoush to stay and Oscar Bob to potentially leave. Would you take Oscar Bob?
Yeah, if Brennan's leaving. But again, it's another situation, isn't it, of a player who's more potential than actual output. But I actually like him. Whenever I've seen him, he's impressed me. The only annoying thing for Bob himself is there was that little period, I think it was maybe now 18 months ago or 2 years ago now.
It's just before the leg break.
It was, the season before the leg break. I remember he was coming on in games, really affecting it. I remember he scored the winner against Newcastle at St James's, and it was a brilliant goal. And then I remember I predicted him to be Young Player of the Year the next year, and I think in the Community Shield he broke his leg. and obviously it ruled him out for the whole year. So that's obviously held him back. Now this season, he started the season playing quite a bit. And now,
he started the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah, he started the season, and I'm not saying he looked bad, but obviously he wasn't as good as he was when he first broke into the team. It's going to take time, isn't it, for him to really get back to his best? But he's still so young, and we've seen players. Wirtz had a ACL, and obviously I know people can argue about him now, but he recovered from it really well, didn't he? And became a massive player for Leverkusen. So just because a young player has a big injury doesn't mean their whole career is done. But yeah, the problem is there's a reason, isn't there, that he started the first 3 games, and Pep hasn't really trusted him since then. He hasn't really gotten much of a look in.
But to not be in a lot of matchday squads, I think is quite telling. In terms of where he is right now at Manchester City.
Does it maybe it just says more about that's true. But I think does it say more about the standards at City right now when they're going for a league title and the players they have available? They don't have the luxury of affording Oscar Bob the time to recover, I guess. Maybe you could argue that. Or maybe at the moment he just hasn't come back good enough, and that's just the reality. Would I take a punt on him? I probably would. But then again, does it change much for us in the short term? For example, when I was talking about Savinho, I think Savinho can come in and play really well straight away and make an impact. Does Bob make as much of an impact as Savinho? No. Does Bob even make as much of an impact as Odegaard right now? I think it probably might be similar to them right now. Not to say he can't be a very good player for us down the line, but and I think he's already shown in the Premier League he can play at this level. I think when he was fully fit, but unfortunately in the short term he's still not quite there yet, isn't he? From overcoming the problems he had.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Do we want to buy someone that is still kind of recovering from a very long-term injury?
Option, maybe?
Well, I'm just seeing here. Apparently, he's injured again. Apparently, he's missed the last 2 games for injury.
Oh, so he was on the bench before.
So he came on in the Brentford game. Before that, he had 3 games on the bench. Then 2 games not in the squad, and then he's basically been in and out on the bench and not in the squad over the past couple of months.
Yeah, which for a teenager, was he a teenager still?
No, he's 22.
Okay, so he's not a teenager anymore. But for a young player at Man City who's broken his leg, it's not completely not understandable. But
I thought he had more goal contributions behind him, but in the Premier League, he's only got 1 goal and 1 assist.
Yeah,
1 goal, 2 assists.
In how many games?
So in 23-24, he played 14 games. Last season, he played 3 games, and this year he's taken part in 9 games and 1 assist.
So he's still very early in terms of experience. That's not a lot, is it?
Yeah.
So he's still very early, and I think he's very talented. But it'll be a long-term thing. You don't come in, don't sign him in January and expect him to hit the ground running. Would be my point.
Well, he's currently injured, so he definitely ain't running nowhere.
Oh, I don't know how bad the injury is.
I know, but look. That's the situation with the Man City boys.
Yeah, and I don't see Savinho happening. I just don't. Again, I would love it to, but it doesn't make sense for City to sign Semenyo and then sell Savinho, and they're kind of playing opposite sides at the moment.
Yeah. Next up is Yan Diomande. Romano says that Tottenham and Man City have recently sent scouts to watch Yan Diomande. Many clubs have been keeping tabs on the player, but Leipzig would like to keep him for 1 more season. And if that is the case, then it's going to take a monstrous offer in January if they were to consider selling him.
Yeah, and it makes sense for Diomande himself, and it makes sense for Leipzig to keep him for 6 months, because Diomande's stock might be higher because he's going to have more games under his belt and he's going to be more proven. Diomande is going to have more of that, experience. He's going to have more of the game time behind him as well for himself. More development, that's the word I'm looking for. He's going to develop more because he's going to be playing every week. So I think it makes sense for everyone, unless there's an absolute monstrous bid. It makes sense to keep it as it is. And it doesn't make sense for anyone to put in a monstrous bid right now in January. Probably not.
No one will, I don't think.
Yeah, I definitely don't see Spurs doing it. So
I don't see Man U doing it either, to be fair.
So, yeah, I think that makes sense for everyone, to be honest.
And the last player we're going to talk about is Kenan Yildiz of Juventus. Tutto Juve says that Tottenham have now made contact to sign Kenan Yildiz ahead of Arsenal and Chelsea. The 20-year-old is causing Juventus quite the dilemma with his wage demands, over $5 million a season, a fee that Spurs would have no issue paying. Team Talk says that Tottenham and Chelsea are closely monitoring Yildiz contract situation. The 20-year-old seeks a significant salary increase of $5 million per year, and the failure to reach agreement would be available for $79 million in the January transfer window. I mean,
Yeah.
if that is true, 79 million, put the money on the table right now.
Let's do it. I don't care.
He's
Get
worth
him
it.
in. We ain't getting him.
He is worth it.
It's not happening, people. So don't even think about it. Like he wants to be a legend at Juve. So it's not going to be a Tottenham placed in 14th that convinces him to leave. I can assure you that. He's going to want it if he's leaving Juve. He's going to go to a team that's challenging for big things. Like he ain't going to leave Juve for Tottenham.
Can you imagine?
Like it's just not going to happen. He loves Juve. And he wants to be there. It's not like a player who was desperate to leave. I know Juve are a mess themselves, so I wouldn't be surprised if down the line he will get disillusioned with what's happening. He might be already disillusioned. I don't know, but
I don't know if he stays there for the long term.
He might not.
It's very easy to come out and say, "Yeah, I want to be a legend here," and if things aren't going right and a big club comes in, I reckon he'll go.
What, in January?
Not in January.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think he could easily go in the summer though.
That's fine. And I'm saying he might already be disillusioned with what's happening at Juve with the mess they're in. But my point is, he ain't coming to Tottenham.
That is for certain, I think. I think we could agree on that one. Anyway, it's just, can we not dream? Just let us dream?
Dream away. I'm not stopping anyone from dreaming. But if you don't want to dream and you want to talk some reality, then come to me.
Nah, I don't like this reality. I prefer to talk about dreams, to be honest. Last but not least, Matt Wells obviously has joined Colorado Rapids, as we reported on a couple of days ago, and he sent a classy message to Tottenham Hotspur fans and the club in an Instagram message, and it says, "Born in Chase Farm Hospital, the grandson of a true Spurs legend who first joined the club as an 8-year-old academy player and went on to become the assistant manager as we lifted the Europa League. So many incredible things happened in between as I progressed through the ranks from the under-9s to the under-18s and eventually embarked on my coaching journey with nearly every age group from 13s to 21s. Too many pivotal people on the list have shaped me into the person I am today, but impossible not to mention Ugo Ehiog, who has been with me every step of the way. Simply put, my Tottenham journey adds up to a dream come true. Time for me to go and prove my worth as the head coach." What a lovely message from Matt Wells that is.
Lovely. It's hard for everyone to say goodbye. It's a proper Spurs man, Spurs boy, but it's a shame that... it's a shame, but it's good for him. Start his career. But did you see his interview with Colorado with the how he's going to play football?
Yeah.
High pressing, high energy. No one's going to want to face us. And I wish we could do with a bit of that right now.
Yeah, I know.
Should have put Matt Wells in charge.
You know what, though? Like, if he has a good time at Colorado, comes back to England, I think later down the line, if he proves his worth as a manager, he might be back here one day.
Who knows? Mason and Wells, co-managers.
Apparently Mason's about to get sacked.
Mason assistant, then.
Take Mason as interim from to the end of the season.
It was looking that way. It is looking that way. Let's just go for the third time lucky with Mason. Why not? Third time lucky.
Anyway, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we have spoken about today. And we are going to start focusing on the game against Crystal Palace tomorrow night under the lights. Well, it's 4:30, isn't it? Kickoff tomorrow.
Well, I guess you could say under the lights with current winter times.
Yeah, second half will definitely be under the lights anyway. But
yeah, so I'll be down by 4:30, no?
Yeah, maybe the lights will just be coming on as kickoff starts. But look, let's get through the team news.
And yeah, the list is extensive for this one, isn't it? Maddison, Decky, we know, long-term injuries. Simmons and Romero suspended for this game. Romero at the moment a 1-game suspension, so he'll be back for the next one. Javi starts his first game of a 3-match suspension. Pape Matar is away at the AFCON, and Yves Bissouma as well. Destiny Udogie, though, he's not. I don't think he's going to be fit for this one, but he should be back up, I believe, scheduled for early January, so hopefully not too long before we see him. But yeah, all of a sudden it's growing, that list, isn't it, of absentees? Yeah,
I mean, look, the suspensions, obviously, Simmons is 3 games, Romero's a maximum of probably 2 games. The injuries are there's not actually that many injuries on there,
no.
Is my point. But look, let's get into this predicted lineup. I'm guessing 4-2, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, I was saying before, I think if Romero was available, I would have been considering matching up Palace in their formation and going through the back, but
He's not.
He ain't available. So but we don't have Simmons as well. So is it going to be more of a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1?
I think a 4-2-3-1 with Vicario in goal, obviously.
Yeah, we know that. Big Vic.
I think the back four is pretty simple, to be honest. I think Pedro Porro comes in at right back. I think Jed Spence comes in at left back.
Yep.
And I think Kevin Danso takes Cuti Romero's spot and Mickey van der Ven next to him. So that's the back four. Porro, Danso, Van der Ven and Jed Spence. Now's that pesky midfield. Let's try and work out what Frank's going to do with this midfield. Obviously, he's favoured Bentancur and Gray recently. I think he's going to keep it the same, to be honest.
Do you not think Zhao might come in for this game? Yes, he's not played for, 4 games or something? 4 in a row? I've got a feeling Zhao comes back in.
I don't know. I've got a feeling he likes the dynamic that Bentancur and Gray give us, but...
Obviously up against Wharton and Will Hughes in this one. So, you know, or maybe Lerma or whatever. Definitely Wharton. That's enough to worry anyone. Trying to think tactically. Does it make sense? Yeah, because we're going to have a lot of possession.
They are the lowest possession side in the league, aren't they, Palace?
Yeah, they definitely give you possession. They hit you on with clinical counter-attacks. So, yeah, will it be Bentancur and Gray again? Just continue that dynamic? Or was that 2 games in a row they've started?
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's going to be them two.
And Bergvall in the 10.
And Bergvall in the 10, exactly, yeah.
Has to be Bergvall because we've got no one else. Unless he wants to start Brennan and put Kudus there.
No, I think it'll be this 3. It'll be interesting dynamic, though, if he does start Brennan, obviously, with Crystal Palace being the team that are potentially taking him off us. That would be quite interesting, but I can't really see Brennan starting this game. So I think that's going to be the midfield. Bentancur, Gray and Bergvall. Right-hand side, we know, is going to be Kudus.
Yep.
Left-hand side is interesting. Is Moani going to get shoved over to the left-hand side again? Are we going to see Odebear, Tell?
Because Rishi came on and did well, didn't he, against Liverpool?
Yeah.
But he obviously preferred Moani from the start for a reason in that game.
Yeah.
I would actually... Obviously, they play with wing-backs, don't they? So you got that to consider. Someone who's going to make sure they're tracking their wing-back all the way back. And so you got to make sure someone's quite disciplined. But as well, they got Nathaniel Klein there now, not Munoz. So I also want someone who's willing to take him on and be a bit direct dribbling-wise, which I don't think is... It's more, I think, Odebear or Tell than Moani.
They started Canvo again in the Arsenal game in the Cup. And, you know, he left Klein on the bench. So I'm not sure which one he's going to go for in this game.
Well, I don't know who that is.
Canvo.
Yeah.
He's the centre-back that's come in for Guehi when he's been injured. He's actually quite good, to be honest.
At wing-back?
Well, I don't know how good he is at wing-back, but he's a good centre-back. He played at wing-back against Arsenal.
I'd happily be up against a wing-back, centre-back or wing-back. But Klein is just, he's been off it for a while. I think Odebear might be the best pick, but I got a feeling he's going to go Moani again, and because that was our best performance, Moani on the left, Rishi up front. Then again against Forest, it was horrible, but
it was our best and worst.
Does he feel like Rishi deserves a start after the Liverpool game, or is he going to keep him as a super sub?
I like the dynamic of Rishi on the bench, man. Bring him on.
I don't mind it either. I think he's a good super sub, to be honest. Not hyperbolic. I
say this every week. I want to see Tell start a game.
Yeah, I'd love to see Tell start a game, but he just doesn't want to do it. Does Brennan start off the left?
It's really tough one to call.
I've got a feeling he goes.
When's the last time Odebear started a game?
Arsenal? No, it wasn't Arsenal. In the Champions League, did he start?
Slavia? In the league, I mean, is it the last?
No,
league
he didn't start against Slavia.
Is the last league start Arsenal?
No, he did start against Slavia. Yeah, I think Arsenal was the last league start.
Which is mad, isn't it? Because
came on against half time against United. I got a feeling goes Moani and Rishi.
It's not something I want to see, but I also got a feeling he might do it as well. But I just don't like Moani on the left. I think he's a striker.
Yeah, I agree. I also think for this game, I wouldn't want Moani on the left. I'd want a proper winger.
Yeah.
But I think Moani will be disciplined in just making sure that right back doesn't get further, and maybe that's what he'll think. Minimise risk. All right. Moani off the left and Rishi up front.
All right, that's what we're going for. We're going for Moani, left wing.
Oh, I've crashed.
You've crashed?
Yeah.
There we go. Moani, left wing. And Richarlison. Oh, not there.
It's crashed. No, it's my computer.
There we go. And Richarlison up top. So this is the lineup that we're going for. We're going for Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro right back, Jed Spence left back, Danso and Mickey van der Ven at centre back, Bentancur Gray in the middle, Bergvall in the 10, Kudus on the right, Moani on the left, and Richarlison up top. What's your score prediction based on that lineup?
I'm going 1-1. I think Palace, having played in midweek, they usually don't fare too well, but we're also 1 win in 8 and we're not playing well, and I don't really trust us to exploit them, to be honest. I think we'll probably do enough not to lose, but will we do enough to win? I don't know, especially without Xavi and Romero. That's I think with Xavi and Romero fit, it'll give us a better chance, but yeah, I'm going to go 1-1.
Because our stats, the match stats without Romero without Xavi is a scary thought coming into this game. I was always of the thinking that Spurs are going to do the business today, but I didn't even take into consideration that Xavi and Romero won't be playing. The other side of it is what you're saying about Palace. You know, every time that they've had a game in midweek, they've lost. However,
they usually play well in the first half. Yeah.
Yeah. However, I was looking at the games which they've lost. The majority of them have been to like really good, quite good opposition as well. So,
apart from maybe Leeds, but Leeds are in good form.
Yeah, and that was a demolition, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they did also all 4 goals from set pieces. But maybe that bodes well for us.
When's the last time we scored a set piece?
Yeah, quite. When was the last time we scored a set piece? Anyone in the chat? When was the last time we scored a set piece?
So
Everton.
I think so. I can't remember one since. Anyways, since I predicted a win on Predict the Prem, I actually think I'm going to lose this game.
Lose now? You've gone to lose?
Yeah, I think so.
What? That's mental. No funny feelings? You know, just have a funny feeling.
There's a lot of time left to go till funny feelings start setting in. But look, I am going to Selhurst Park tomorrow, so definitely going to be getting those funny feelings on the way there. But as of now,
scary feelings.
It's very scary feelings. I think it might be 2-1 to Palace.
I think Sal went for 1-1.
Yeah.
God. Not good. Not good at all. I think it's going to be the case, in my opinion. Palace will probably have the better of the first half. We'll come back into it once they tire, but not good enough to win.
All right, well, let's get into the match preview. Obviously, Palace and Spurs coming into it Spurs coming into it in actually horrific form. In terms of the form table in the Premier League, they sit 13th and we sit 16th. So 2 teams not exactly on the best form. You're looking at Palace, their last game in the Premier League was 4-1 defeat to Leeds, 3-0 defeat to Manchester City. They beat Fulham, they beat Burnley, and then they lost to Manchester United at Selhurst Park. So look, they're not coming into it as the maybe proposition that we would have faced like a month ago, because they were flying then, and they seem to have stopped in their tracks a little bit. They're suffering a lot with injuries as well coming into this game. I think Eddie Nketiah is a doubt, a big doubt coming into it, and I think Jason Devaney, who's just not much to worry about, I don't think. But they've always got Mateta, Daichi Kamada's out, so they've got big problems actually in the forward line coming into the game.
Yeah.
So that should give us a bit of hope that we could do something. But on the flip side of that, we've got our own problems. You know, Xavi Simons is out, Kuti Romero's out, but we still have the likes of Moani, Richarlison and Kudus that can hurt them. So you're looking at the personnel in both the forward lines. You would say ours is a lot stronger, surely.
Yeah, at the moment, obviously Pino's doing really well at the moment. I do really like the look of him. I think he's fitted in really well at Palace. I think he had a bit of a slow start, but has in the last month or couple of months, he's really starting to show what he's capable of. Obviously, he was a real big talent out in Spain, and then didn't he pick up a big injury, and then he's recovered from that, and he's now showing again what he's all about. I do really like the look of him. I think it's another good scouting again from Crystal Palace. Nketiah is one of these ones where
he's crap, but he'll score against us.
Yeah, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not worried about him, but I'm very worried about him. Like, at the same time, he'll just find. It was one of those where he'll probably be out of the game, then he'll just find a moment in front of goal because we've like lost our concentration, and he'll finish it. Mateta's obviously a battering ram. He's such a big. He's obviously such a big threat. Wharton, he's obviously the one I'm so worried about because he's just got unbelievable quality. He can really control that midfield. Obviously, Richards got injured in midweek, didn't he? So is he going to be out?
He's a big doubt for the game. I think Glasner said that he should definitely be back for the next game, but this game he's not so sure about. Okay,
so the back three will likely be what? Richard, Guehi, Lacroix,
and Canvo.
Lerma's been playing there.
Yeah, we were talking about before in the about Klein and Canvo, so I think they'll both start seeing out because I forgot Richards is out, so I think it'll be Canvo at centre back and then Klein at right wing back. And you know, having Klein at right wing back takes a massive thing out of their play without having Munoz there, because Munoz has just been fantastic, hasn't he, since he's joined there. He's a consistent threat down that right hand side, and crossing ability, shooting ability. He always gets in the right positions, and yeah, we should be able to hit them down that side. If you know, even with Moani there, you know, we should have the upper hand there, surely.
He's a massive miss, Munoz. I think he's actually a massive part of how they play because he's so offensive. It's a bit like United when they have Diallo there on the right compared to when they don't. Like when they have Diallo there, it doesn't only make United more offensive, but it like makes Buemo so much more lively because all of a sudden they've got two wingers, two threats there. But and as soon as you take Diallo out, all of a sudden Buemo's not as effective as he was because he's got extra attention. I think the same as with Palace and whoever their right side attacker is and Munoz. When Munoz is there, he's like an extra winger, and he's actually got such good like delivery in the final third.
But you're looking at that. The whole right hand side has been completely decimated.
Even at the back as well, like
Richards, Munoz, Sarr. Mm-hmm. You know, they're all out. Like, this is a big opportunity for us. Absolutely, massive opportunity.
Absolutely. Klein is a declining player, for sure. Nketiah in the forward line, he's not a winger. He's definitely a striker. And whoever's that centre-back you said plays,
Canvo.
I don't know if he's how good he is, but obviously
he's a good player. No, he is a good player.
Well, he doesn't play often, so...
No, because he's a young player. He's 19 years of age.
Right. So
but whenever he's come in, he's done really well, actually.
Or in the Conference League?
No, he's played Premier League this season. You know, in that period where Guehi was suspended or out injured, I can't remember what, but he played in those games and he actually was very good.
Okay. Well, he's still 19. You got to try and take... I don't know much about him. Maybe he's great, but you got to try and take put a 19-year-old under pressure for sure. So maybe Moani should be there just because of that physicality, and maybe because he might make them ask questions. 100%, that should be an area in theory where you got the upper hand.
Well, you say that, but our left-hand side is our weakest spot.
Yeah, but then again, you look at the players, Spence, maybe Buani. I mean, those are two good players in there.
Even if it's Tell or Odebear, they should be taking control on that left-hand side.
Yeah, that should be the side we're more dominant. Although Mitchell's looked quite tired, I feel, in recent weeks. He's played every game. He didn't even get a rest again in the Conference League. He played that game as well. So he looks like he Kudus maybe can get some spare change out of him, but obviously he's a good player on that side. But Kudus has to try and physically dominate him.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. Did he play against Arsenal? Yeah, he did. He played against Arsenal, Mitchell. He got taken off. When did he get taken off? Oh, he got taken off right in the last minutes of stoppage time. They had 11 minutes added on there, went all the way to penalties, didn't they, against Arsenal? Canvo actually came on at wing-back for Klein at half-time. So maybe they were...
So Klein did start?
Klein started. I thought he didn't start because I only watched from the start the second half and I saw Canvo there, so I thought he just started. But Canvo came on at half-time for Klein, and Nketiah went off at half-time for Jason Devaney. I mean, Devaney plays quite a lot at the moment, but He doesn't really worry me too much. But I say that now, he's probably going to score. But
he looks all right, actually. I'm not saying anything special, but he's quite a confident young player. You know, took this penalty well for the shootout.
yeah,
He does quite well when I see him. Not like a world beater, but like decent. He's like not a bad player.
Yeah.
But I think they'll play probably Wharton and if the back three is what you say, probably Wharton and Lerma then in the midfield too.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of energy and a lot of muscle, and obviously Wharton brings that technical ability. He's one you just got to stop playing. He is so good with his passing. It's ridiculous. You give him 1 centimetre and he can open you up.
Yeah.
And that's what we just got to try and avoid.
Another player that we need to be worried about going the other way is Mark Gahey.
Yeah.
He's actually a really big attacking threat, isn't he? How many
he
goal
is.
contributions has he got this season? It's just mad.
In all competitions, like 7, 8, 9 or something.
It's mad. Like, he is a consistent goal threat for them, particularly from set pieces. You saw against Arsenal. He was the one that scored the goal to send it to penalties at the end. And that's a team who are, very solid at the back. We're not very solid at the back.
No.
So we need to be very worried of him.
Absolutely. And yeah, he's obviously, whether he moves on in January or not, we'll see. But he's been phenomenal for Palace. It's really he's not let it affect him, the speculation about Liverpool, the failed move. A lot of players might even subconsciously get distracted or have their head turned. But Guehi's just kept his head down, kept doing what he's doing, and he's been phenomenal this season.
How do you think the dynamic, though, of Crystal Palace's season, because there's so much uncertainty around Crystal Palace right now? Obviously, there's the Guehi thing, and he could very much go in January. There's now the thing about the manager with Oli Glasner, like Romano came out with last week saying that it's been decided he's not signing a new contract. So that means he's leaving at the end of the season. So it's going to be interesting to see, are Palace going to be able to hold it together from now to the end of the season, or are we going to see an implosion there?
Yeah, I think they're a smart enough team that if Glasner leaves, that they can still be okay. Whether they'll be as good as they were under Glasner, probably not. Like, they're right now in the
You've
Europe.
got the Mateta situation as well.
FA Cup. Yeah, Mateta might be out. I think Palace are a really well-run club, and they do things in a really smart way. And I think they're one of those teams. They're one of those ownerships where I'm not saying they're not going to try and do everything to keep Glasner and Mateta, all these players, but they're not scared of losing them. Although I say that and they didn't let go of Guehi, but I think they plan for these things, eventualities. I think, of course, if you're a Palace fan, there's a lot to be concerned about with the lack of certainty of what's happening on. You've got a really good thing going at the moment with Glasner, a really good thing going. And obviously you don't want to change it because you're putting all that good work at risk and all this stuff. But I also think that they're not going to make promises to Glasner they can't keep. And I think that's the crux of the issue at the moment with the whole situation. Glasner's obviously like, okay, I've won you an FA Cup. I've shown with you, my full team, what I can do. Like, you've just got to give me more money. And Palace are basically saying, look, we can try, but I don't know. You're going to have to keep selling your best player, essentially, if you want more money. Like, we don't have the money that you want.
I don't know if Palace are not that team where they can keep going under any manager like a Brighton or like a Brentford. I think the setup's a bit different at Crystal Palace. Like, Glasner's obviously done unbelievably well to do what he's done. But they've lost Elise. They've brought in Ismail Yassar. I think that's obviously a massive drop in quality there, but he's done very well to get the quality out of him that he has done this season. They've taken out Eze. Who did they bring in? They've got like a Daichi Kamada or someone else, or Pino, that have come in. Obviously, there's a massive drop in quality there. And I think Pino's done all right, but he hasn't. I don't think he's blown anyone away with his performances.
Better.
Yeah, he's done all right. When Guehi leaves, they're not going to bring anyone in close to that quality, I don't think. When Mateta leaves, you need to replace him with a guy that gets 15 to 20 goals a season. I've got a feeling once Glasner leaves, I think Palace can have a massive drop off.
Yeah, I agree that they're going to drop off. They're not going to be as good as they are, but I don't think they're going to go down. Is my point. They, which I think at the moment for Palace, as much as the thing is right now for Palace, it's a dream to be where they are. This is not where they expect to be. This is incredible, European football winning trophies. That's their first ever trophy in their history.
Yeah.
So that's the context of the situation they're in. This is a heightened version of Crystal Palace. This is what they, Glasner's built. My only point is, if Glasner leaves, there will be a massive drop off. Don't get me wrong, and they won't be as good as they are now. But I think they're smart enough to keep themselves in the Premier League, and until maybe a point where they get the next class. Now, I don't think the next class might happen straight away, but I think they'll keep themselves above water until maybe they can balance the situation. I think they're a smart recruitment.
You know what? If Frank loses his job,
yeah, that would be a perfect appointment.
If Frank loses his job at Spurs, I think he'd be brilliant for Palace. Kevin Shardy just scored.
Yeah. Can't believe it.
Just for context, I've got Kevin Shardy as a star man in Predict the Prem this week.
In terms of Frank, he's been talking a lot in the last. There's some quotes I'm not making.
I swear, this guy, he's on like these Sky Sports interviews every single week. Did he get the tactics board out this time?
Well, a couple of quotes I've made raised a few eyebrows from him. First one, he's talking about where the expectations versus reality. He is saying, I think we're in a transition phase. We are a Champions League club, but are we a Champions League club? We only qualified because we won Europa League. We didn't qualify because we were one of 4 or 5 best clubs in the Premier League last season. We finished 17th. He then goes on to say...
Well, did you have a problem with that quote?
I don't have a problem with the quote. I just don't like the message it sends. I feel like it's an excuse-making kind of quote.
Yeah, which is fair enough, but I think it's also reality, what he's saying.
It's reality. I get that, and that's absolutely right. We didn't finish in the top 4 or 5 last season. We did finish 17th.
Didn't even hit 40 points last season.
We didn't hit 40 points last season, but we also know the reasons for that. It's not because all the players are crap. We know that. That's not why what happened last season happened.
Yeah,
There's a lot of reasons why it happened.
Do you think we would have got Champions League without the injuries last season?
No, probably not. But still, but he's saying 17th. And we did win a European trophy, so these are players good enough to do that.
Yeah.
He says, we didn't. And now we need to compete in the Champions League while we're competing in the Premier League, which is the most difficult thing. The last time we did that was 3 years ago when we finished 8th. That's reality. Something happened with the squad over those 3 years. Then the year after, with no Europe, some of the key offensive players were Maddison, Decky, Son, who were not here anymore, and they're long-term absentees. So that's just some of the reality. So he's kind of pointing, I guess, to that as to why we're performing the way we are at the moment. Which I understand what he's saying, and I think there is sympathy there. Like, I understand we're missing these players. I understand where we were, what happened last season, what happened to the league results, and that's what he's picking up from. I get that, but this isn't the first few weeks of his job anymore. We are now nearly halfway through the season, and we are a shambles, really. Mm-hmm. We're as good as some relegation teams when it comes to going forward. Mm-hmm. And whatever excuse he wants to pull, our key offensive players are injured. They are, but you do have some good offensive players there. They're not rubbish. They're not no ones. These are internationals. These are big money signings. And I get they might take some time to bed in, but 6 months you should start seeing some better stuff, I would assume. Now, to be fair, Brentford was better, but apart from that, it's been really slim pickings, and it's been slim pickings throughout a lot of the season. Now, early in the season, we looked like we had a bit more of a plan on the ball. I felt just, as much as it wasn't pretty, there was something. As the season's gone on, it seems as though we've gotten worse for a lot of the season when it comes to how we've been playing on the ball, and that's obviously got to be a massive concern. I just feel like he's not taking enough accountability for what's happening on the pitch. I feel like he's trying to...
What would you want him to say?
Like, at the moment, I would like him to say, going forward, we're nowhere near where we want to be, and we need to do a lot better, not give excuses, this, that, 17th, no, we don't have the key offensive players. I don't want to hear that. We knew that. We knew it from the beginning of the season. I doubt the messaging from the beginning of the season is, look, Maddison, Decky and Solanke are not... Maddison and Decky are not fit. So for the first 6 months, we're not going to have a shot on target. Like, that's not... I'm sure that wasn't the messaging from the beginning. Okay, that's a bit hyperbolic, but from the first 6 months, it's going to be really difficult to attack. Like, I'm sure the plan was, we're going to put plans in place, we're going to set up in this way, we're going to try and attack these teams, and it's just not working. So I don't want to hear him bring up the fact that we're missing those specific players, because he's got offensive players. That's the key point here. It's almost as if what's he trying to say then about Moani and Javi and Kudus? What's he saying about them? The fact he's bringing up the missing offensive players, does it mean he doesn't think they're good? What's he trying to say?
Well, I think that he said it multiple times on Javi that he's new to the Premier League and he needs to adapt still, which is fair enough. I think there's validity to that. Moani is probably the same, but the reality is we should be doing a lot better than what we are with the players that we've got, 100%. But at this point, what are we trying to do? We're just trying to pick apart everything that he's saying.
Just analysing what he's saying.
Like, what is there to analyse over it apart from he's making a few excuses, which kind of like most managers do when they're under pressure. That's all it is. He's under pressure right now, and
it's whether the excuses are valid or not. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
I think there is a lot of validity to what he's saying. I think there is, but I think two things can be right in terms of what he's saying could be spot on as well. But then on the flip side of that, he should be doing a lot better with what he has as well. So I think there could be merits to both sides of the argument, to be honest.
I think I've been fair to Frank since he's come in. I really do. I haven't asked for the world. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm really not. I'm asking.
You just asked for a shot on target.
Basically, yeah. I'm asking for a chance to be created. Is that too much to ask? Like, I'm asking to build a team so that we can create chances. And I think we've got the players to do that. So being near the bottom of the league for a lot of those metrics is just basically he's failing even the basement of what I'd expect from a manager. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So when he comes with these excuses, is it an excuse? Is it a reason why we're maybe not where the fans want to be, top 6 or whatever? Yeah, I completely get that. That's fair. Is it an excuse to be 14th and to be one of the worst attacking teams currently when it comes to the metrics? Is it in the league? No, it's not an excuse to be like that. So that's what I'm saying, and I feel like he's saying it's an excuse. It's like that's the reason we are that, but it's not.
Yeah, look, it's a hard one. I agree with you to a certain extent. That his excuses are not excuses that wash with pretty much anyone. Why we're so bad offensively and why we're so bad going forward. And on top of that, everyone keeps saying how good we are defensively. We're not good defensively, and we keep conceding chances and we keep conceding goals, and we're like an open book at this moment in time. But you also say that it's got worse and worse progressively throughout the season on the ball and with our creating chances. Well, I think like 3 or 2 out of our last 3 games or 3 out of our last 4 games, we've probably created more than we did in the previous 5 games. So it's not getting worse. In the last couple of games, it's got better if you take the Nottingham Forest game out of it.
We can't take that game out of it. But
but that's 1 out of the last 4 games, right?
Last 4, Slavia, Brentford and Liverpool.
Yeah. And I think we created an over 1 XG in all of those.
Yeah.
When before then it was like under 0.5.
That's fair. Frank says he said, I think it's the biggest.
You see what I mean, though? I say that and you roll your eyes because you don't want to like believe it too, but it is true.
I mean, you can't. I mean, one of our worst defensive displays is in there, so it's hard to say, oh, we're doing.
We were talking about offensive.
Yeah, I'm talking. That was also one of our worst offensive displays.
Defensive or offensive? Oh, okay.
Offensive.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
So like. Okay, it was a bit better against Brentford. No, it's a lot better against Brentford. Liverpool, okay, that was more a battling performance where we threw the kitchen sink. I wouldn't say it was much to do with our creativity, but look, it was better. It was better. Slavia was decent, but again, it took 2 penalties and an own goal to score. But fine, we still created more chances in that game. So slim pickings. I guess you could argue it's better, but it's not exactly great. but it's better.
No one's saying it's great, but you're saying it's getting progressively worse.
Well,
but I'm just saying
and then one of our worst defensive displays is
yeah,
still
fine,
a week ago.
But in terms of that Nottingham Forest game, in the context of the last 3 or 4 games, that's kind of like the exception of the rule, isn't it? Because like that was the really poor game. The other ones haven't been nowhere near as poor as that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm just thinking it through. I would say it's fair, but if those represent, apart from maybe Brentford, if those are what's going to represent good attacking displays, then that's not good.
At this moment, who knows? If it's got better from 5 games, in the last 10 games, first 5 games were terrible. The next 5 games have been okay. All we can ask for is moving in the right direction after it's been so poor. That's all we can ask for right now.
Well, that's the minimum, I would say.
Yeah, the minimum, for sure.
He says, I think it's the biggest ongoing thing to work on is still the offensive part of the game. It's not that we haven't worked on it. And I said it's not that it hasn't been a big focus. I think we started the season quite well on it, then had a dip. And now I think we're on the up, actually. Look, I'll give him credit. It's been a bit better in the last 4 games, apart from the Forest game. That's true. But let's see if it continues.
That's all we can do.
That would be my point.
That's all I'm saying.
But my point is nothing to shout about. Like,
I agree with that.
I don't think like I would be saying if him like we're doing much better offensively. Well, I guess he's not saying that. He says we're on the up, but I want to see it a bit more before I say we're getting better. Like I don't think there's enough evidence to say we are getting better. You know, it's a little spell, but then we could easily go the next 3 games not. You know what I mean? So let's see it continue before we say it's getting better, is what would be my point. This I found a bit of a peculiar quote. He said, we've lost twice in a row, but we haven't had 2 bad performances in a row this season.
Yeah, I don't know what he's smoking there.
that was a bit, I don't know what he considers a good performance, if that's what he's saying. It's really odd, I felt.
We've had plenty of not good performances in a row, to be honest. We've had plenty.
So, yeah, that was a really strange quote, I felt, from him.
I mean, we played Wolves and Boda in a row. Those were 2 terrible displays. Aston Villa, Monaco, 2 terrible displays. Chelsea, I guess that was followed on by the Copenhagen game.
What was before the Chelsea game?
You know what? He might have a point. Before the Chelsea game was Newcastle in the Cup. The league game before that was the Everton game. In terms of the league, looking at it, I don't think we've had too many disasters in a row. Looking at it now.
Too many disasters.
Because we had Burnley, then Man City, then Bournemouth. Bournemouth's obviously horrific. Then we followed that up with a 3-0 win against West Ham. Then we went to Brighton, 2-2, which was okay. Then the Wolves game. And after the Wolves game was the Leeds game, which we won. And after the Leeds game was Villa, which was rubbish.
Okay, to be fair, look, if you're taking the quote, what he said on face value to what you're saying, he hasn't said we have always played well after having a bad game. He says we haven't had 2 bad games in a row. So what you're saying is we haven't had... So what you're saying is 2 disasters in a row. So a bad game followed by a kind of mid to bad game would qualify that.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair.
Well, he's actually wrong because I found one here. Because we played Arsenal away and then we played Fulham at home.
Okay, there you go.
But that's pretty much the only one.
Right, but have we had 2 good games in a row?
No, but that's not what you're saying. That's not what we're picking apart here.
If you're taking that at face value, I think you're slim pickings, but maybe just about gets away with it. I don't know. I still think it's an odd quote, in my opinion. Because he should have higher standards than that. But anyway.
100%. 100% he should. But we're trying to pick apart a quote he's saying here.
I'm not picking apart, just that's what he said and we're reacting to it.
Yeah, and we're coming up with evidence for it.
Yeah, we're trying to see if it's true. We haven't had 2 bad performances in a row. I think that is I think in a different context you would say you would say he has, but maybe in the context of transition, blah blah blah. Maybe
it's the context of the standards that he's set. That's what we're talking about.
It depends what he qualifies as bad. For example, Newcastle away, we got the point, but it was a bad performance. Like we got a 2-2, but we was lucky. We shouldn't. He would maybe say that wasn't. Maybe he would say. Look, maybe he would say
you go away. You go away to Newcastle and you take a point.
Doesn't mean I'm talking. Forget the result. I'm talking about performance. You say we haven't had 2 bad performances in a row. Not results. It was a great result. Performance wasn't good. We were lucky. We got it because Romero shin kicks a overhead kick in the last minute into the back of the net. We didn't deserve anything out of that game, but we got something fair. But I'm saying that's a bad performance. He maybe doesn't think that.
Yeah, but I think
Boda, maybe he thinks, okay, we 2-0 down.
No, Boda was an horrific performance. But Newcastle, I look at the Newcastle game a lot differently to the Boda game, because I think Newcastle, if you go down, you're down 2-0, 2-1, whatever it was, and you fight back the way we did, I thought it was a good fight back from Spurs. You gotta take that as a positive. Regardless of the performance.
I'm not saying the results.
No, I know what you're saying, but even on the context of the game and how poorly we played, I'm still looking at that game positively because the way we battled back and what we took from it, regardless of the performance.
Okay, but I'm just trying to get into Frank's head what he qualifies, what he sees as a good performance.
Good performance from him is probably having 1 shot on target.
But anyway, look, I just think some of these quotes are interesting from Frank. And people reacting to them in their usual manner.
How do you think Spurs approach this game? Is it going to be Spurs with all the possession, trying to break down this Palace team?
I think Palace are going to give us possession.
Yeah.
So it's not about whether we want it or not. They're going to give it to us, and we're going to probably.
Are we going to want it? Are we going to give the possession back?
This football's going to be treated like a hot potato, I think, in this game. So I don't see it being a very pretty game to watch. I think not many Tottenham games are, but I think this one again will probably not be. And we're probably going to be toiling away, trying to break down this 5 at the back and having little success. Maybe a shot will deflect in the goal. Palace will create the better chances, but then we'll tire late in the game and we'll be settled for trying to defend a 1-goal lead.
We'll tire or they'll tire?
They will tire.
Oh, they'll tire.
They'll tire near in the second half. And they'll be sitting back defending, I would imagine, a 1, potentially 2-goal lead, but I'm going to go 1-goal lead. And we're probably going to get a bit of luck. Someone will, I think, a shot will deflect in and we'll claim a credible draw. And then people at the end of the game were saying, you take a point at Palace. What a great result. But the performance will be a lot to be desired.
There you have it. You don't even need to watch the game. Sim's mapped it out all for you.
That's it. I've predicted it. You don't need to watch the game. You can enjoy your day without Tottenham ruining it. Don't waste 90 minutes. That's what's going to happen.
Well, there you have it. Well, don't tune into the watch along tomorrow. Don't watch the game because you know exactly what's going to happen now because Sim has mapped it all out for you. But let's hope we can take the 3 points because if we lose tomorrow, then, possibility of falling even further down the league.
Yeah, that's the worry. West Ham are currently playing now, Fulham 0-0. If West Ham do win and we don't, it's getting scary.
Yeah, so they'll be on 16 and we'll stay on 22. Anyway, I think Fulham are going to win. And if Fulham win, though...
and if Fulham win, it's getting scary.
If Fulham... How can Fulham be potentially 5 points ahead of us? That's mad.
What? Ahead? I thought you were going to say to go ahead. No, they are ahead.
No, right now, Fulham are 2 points ahead of us.
Oh, my God. I thought you were going to say to go ahead of us. Jesus. That's crazy. So who's in 15th at the moment?
Bournemouth.
So they're 1-0 down. Okay, that's good. And then it's Forest who lost. All right, the results are going our way this weekend, people.
Who are Leeds got this weekend?
Sunderland.
Sunderland at home.
Away.
All right, that's all right.
Right.
Nothing to worry about this weekend, people. We're clear of relegation. Don't you worry. All we can do is hope and pray for a good performance and a good win.
No, we
And-
could win tomorrow. I think there is a good chance because, as I said, there are the problems that Palace have. If we do start to click, and if Frank is right, and we are on the up offensively, and we just haven't, and maybe the red cards ruined that game against Liverpool, and maybe we would have won or taken something out of that game if it didn't happen, and maybe we are really on the up. And maybe Forest was a one-off in the last 4 games, and if that's true, he needs to prove it tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And he's going to have to prove it without Xavi and Romero.
Well, forget what I said before, but please do join the watch along tomorrow and tune in for the watch along. Sim and Marlon here in the studio. I am on my way to Selhurst Park with the returning Amir back from Toulouse.
Come on,
So
Amir.
I'm looking forward to seeing him tomorrow. And looking forward to the game. Don't know if I'll be. I might have that funny feeling when I wake up tomorrow. And we'll see what happens, people. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We'll see you all very, very soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.